Youth mental health matters.
Stigma-free.
Peer-to-peer support. Digital citizenship. Empathy for all. Self-care. Understanding mental health challenges. Access to resources. Debunking false information. I deserve a mental health education.
And so do future generations.
The current state is, in a word, abysmal.
Many of our illnesses in psychiatry emerged during childhood and adolescence initially.
You know, we know how troubling and how challenging COVID was for our youth in terms of isolation.
You know, not having traditional schooling, not being able to see their friends the way they normally would, not being able to engage.
Teen mental health tanked and has never caught back up to baseline.
A huge challenge in our field is stigma. People suffering from mental health problems and concerns have long been sort of blamed and shamed.
Half of all lifetime mental health challenges begin by age 14. Yet, the average delay between the onset of symptoms and treatment is 10 years. Youth deserve access to mental health care, and I believe the solution lies in schools. 20 years from now, mental health education should be part of the curriculum in 8th grade across the US before they enter the realm of high school, so students are ready. The curriculum would offer digital citizenship training, discuss the different mental health challenges to debunk false information online, and include peer-to-peer discussions about topics such as social comparison, academic stress, how to get access to care, and how to work with a peer in crisis. We require physical health education. Why not mental health education?
Simply put, schools are a gateway to needed services that otherwise might be inaccessible to many young people.
One of the things I think is important is just helping young people identify mental health issues in their friends, their classmates, their peers.
That it needs to incorporate the lived experience and realize each of us is resilient and each of us is vulnerable, so as to not perpetuate it's us versus them.
I do think the competition for time will be a challenge. So I think we're going to have a conversation about how do we make time.
One of the prevalent challenges students are facing is social media, as 97% of teens have reported using social media and 45% have reported using it constantly.
So teens who are already at risk of experiencing any kind of mental health challenges are typically also more likely to be at risk for negative impacts from social media or other social tools. Students need digital citizenship skills to participate fully in their communities and really make smart choices online and in life.
Today, at best, curriculum is limited to unengaging online reading quizzes, short essay answers, and videos that students are forced to participate in. Let's give students a synchronous semester course, as this would not be meant to simply fill a requirement in following a federal law, but requires students to interact with their teacher and peers, so the information no longer goes in one ear and out the other.
I think it's really important to acknowledge that it's a really substantive way of delivering care for a wide range of folks, and not sort of, well, we just don't have enough trained professionals, so let's throw some peers at the problem.
Why would in school? I thought that's for reading, writing, arithmetic, or STEM. Why talk about mental health? Because education about ourselves and overcoming struggles that all humans have is part of our education too.
Having people view psychiatry as literally no different, if that's sufficiently widespread, then these practices that kind of claim that there's parity but don't actually deliver parity will just become unacceptable.
We tend to put mental health issues in a box and forget that when a young person is wrestling with mental health issues, that's going to have an impact across the board.
Because mental health challenges are something that we all go through at one point or time in our lives. If that situation arises in your life, it's not as scary because it's something that you already kind of practiced with classmates or with a lesson plan that you're following.
And I also want to see us get engaged with young people at earlier times in their lives and before problems get out of control.
So that people feel like they have the skills that they need and the training that they need to be able to intervene and help out when they can tell that student, that youth is struggling.
Platform accountability could be heavily addressed by setting these types of norms and expectations in our own instruction and expectations in our schools and in our own states.
SB 224 has started requiring some of this described curriculum in California high school health classes, but this needs to be spread to the federal level by 2044.
I think in your generation that that the interest in this and the willingness to discuss it, the eagerness to learn about it, the desire to normalize it is all really important.
If we all can be in it together, we can raise the tide of our common human experiences, and the stigma, we hope, will become something of the past.
In mandatory history classes, we teach students about the past and how not to repeat it. But it's time we teach them about how to thrive in the future.
And the sooner the better. So let's get started.